Good evening. Today we're going to be doing something amazingly fun. We're going to be merging the latest drop of Unreal into our perforce. So I expect a full nobody to show up for this because this is literally going to be the worst thing in the world. We've got about 4 hours of extremely boring merge conflicts to solve now. So let's get started, shall we? So, let's figure out exactly what we're up to. Basically, what I need to do is I've got a couple things. I have bugs came out today. I've got the Unreal 16 preview that will be merging in. And I've got that diffed with what changes I made with the 4.14 list, and that's what I've got here in WinMerge. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking the Unreal 16 preview versions, and then what I'm going to be doing is taking the diffs that I have between, what is it? This is my Unreal 16 preview versus my engine. I'm actually going to need to diff the Unreal 14 against my current engine, and then take the Unreal 16 preview and overlay my changes on top. Alright, so I want the dev Dashkin project Dashkin engine. So this will be incredibly entertaining because we're doing just all the fun things, which is nothing fun at all. So we've got the Unreal 14 release, and we've got our diffs. So what I want to do is I want to diff the Unreal 16. No, I want to diff the Unreal 14 version against the diffs that I've got. Jesus Christ, this is so stupid. Come on, WinMerge, let me pick what I want. Having to manually enter the paths because WinMerge does not want to work for me. So we'll have to compare all the items. Jeez, it's gonna take forever. What is this? Those files don't exist. Well, maybe what I can do is just go from the top. So what I need are it's just going to be a lot of manual doing a whole bunch of stuff because we can't use Git for our Unreal, and Perforce, yeah, we're having fun times. So I need 3 windows open. I need the Unreal 16 version open. When you take the Unreal 16 and basically take our changes from 14 and bring them over. And I've already done that for all the files for most everything. But yeah, this is game development sometimes. You're just sitting here merging awful things. So this is 14, this is 16, this is what we've got. So we want to go to engine config. And our base game.ini. What I want to do is compare our base game.ini. So when we didn't change our base game ini, or great. This just looks incredibly wrong to me. See what we have in our current repo. Alright, so if we compare those two, we should also be comparing the 16 config with our engine. And let's see, they have added all of these things to it, so why don't we just looks like the only difference here is this include crash reporter is now false instead of true, and all that. So what we want to do is we want to take this base game ini from 16 preview, paste it over into here, then we edit it, well, base game, not base engine. So base game, and we need to make sure that the crash report is set to true, and then we need to set the max undiluted these frame times. We need to set them to what we wanted them to be, and then let's make sure in Perforce that we actually got everything checked out properly. Alright, so that's the first diff is that. So then we can go up to engine, plugins, 2D, paper 2D. Oh god, this will be a fucking nightmare, I'm pretty sure. So what we want to do is we want to take the paper 2D plugin from Unreal and chunk it into our engine. It should be engine, plugins, 2D, paper 2D. So engine, plugins, 2D, paper 2D. What is all this? Source? Yeah, we've got all this config, source, and blah. So let's take a look at the diffs between these two folders. So the diffs are inside a source is what it looks like. Like config's identical, source folders are different, so we should just go from the top. And pretty much everything is different is what it's looking like. So what we're going to want to do is probably take all of paper 2D from this stuff. We're going to have to diff our 14 release against, not a release diffs, but the Unreal 14 itself. God, so many windows I have to get open just to do anything. So this is the diffs that we have. So what we're going to want to do is take the source folder and the paper 2D plugin, and we need to just like delete our stuff here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our release diffs and apply them here. So we need to do another comparison, which needs to be against the release diffs paper 2D. So let's see, content actually is different. Well, content should be downloaded and everything like that. So we're gonna have to go from go from the top down. So way to edit this thing. Okay, so this is the left and this is the right. So what we should be able to do is be able to take the things from the right side and put them into the left. And this is the part of game development that people get paid to do because it's awful. I'm just slogging through files pretty much. So we'll save that, and then the only diffs are like basic, you know, white space or something else. Alright, so paper flipbook actor. Why are they no longer including paper flipbook component and stuff? I guess they're just using their forward declarations. Let's pull our delegates over at least. Source flipbook. Yeah, this shouldn't be a U property. We got all these delegates, because I added support for all of these different sorts of things to Paper 2D. You could basically get called back when things happened. Get sprite at cached index. I believe I made that public or something. Get sprite at cached index. Yeah, we've already got that. So we can remove it down here. Okay, so paper flipbook is done. This thing is fine, it looks like. This one's fine too. And we're just having to go through every single one of these. So paper physics component, we need to move to the right. Yeah, we need a copy right to left. So runtime settings is fine. Paper sprite.h. Let's see, we added a couple things here. We added the collision types, and then a whole bunch of collision data stuff. Paper sprite friend class. Yeah, we included that as something that'll help us. So yeah, we're just merging changes, which is amazing. It's the best thing I love to do at all times of the day. It's what I dream about. I have a very sad life. Alright. And we're just upgrading to 16 preview for our stuff. And Paper 2D is probably going to be the biggest thing for merging because they changed a whole bunch of little things, and so did I. And we also changed a whole bunch of stuff before. And then we had to like switch perforce, so I didn't have any history that I could compare to, so we're kind of just going in blind. Sprite actor is nothing crazy. This looks good, and we're just doing our merge with WinMerge, which is a free program. Let's see, so yeah, it looks good. I think it's just the paper sprite and paper sprite components that we really changed. We didn't change any of the material tile map stuff or any of that, so we shouldn't have to worry too much about all of it. Looks good. Paper sprite vertex. I don't think we changed the paper tile map component or the paper tile set. We're just being thorough. We need to go through it, so let's just make sure we don't miss anything, because we're going to be compiling and doing all this stuff forever. That'll be fun. Sprite polygonal collision. Alright, cool. Editor only types. Yeah, we changed basically how a lot of these things works with the collision for sprites because we needed more. Why is Paper 2D private PCH not included inside of here? Did they remove some of the precompiled header stuff? Must have. Let's see, terrain actor looks good. Terrain component. So they added a few extra things for their debugging, it looks like. Not really too much work on the Paper 2D component, it looks like, since 4.14. Just maintenance, looks like. Which I may want to just pull this plugin out entirely at some point, since I've modified it so much. Okay, so this is left only, this is right only. We have Paper 2D private and private PCH. That's probably what it did. Paper 2D character, no. Custom version, no. Paper 2D flipbook. Let's see. Probably have added a few things here. Yeah, we cached a whole bunch of stuff. Looks good. Flipbook actor. We did not change you. Flipbook component. We probably changed a lot of this. So let's start pulling it over. Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff. Cache frame indexes. Yeah, like they're index none, and some of these other things weren't set to things you could actually check. You're like, oh, cache frame index is like 0. It's like, well, no. It needs to be like a negative number or something that you can actually compare to something reasonable, you know? So this is get used materials. Alright, so they're fine. So we need to grab this if check is what it looks like. And then the end of this needs to go. Cache frame index. Again, yeah, we're just this whole method right here needs to, we're just gonna chunk in there. Flipbook changed physics state. They have nothing, so yeah, we added a whole bunch of crap to this. Alright, and then we have these physics callbacks. Basically, if an animation thing changed, we needed to know. So yeah, everything up till here. We need to move. So tick flipbook. Events. We need to fire events properly. Yeah. So this whole tick thing here needs to be moved over as well, because they did implement events for Paper 2D stuff, but you know, like events for like when it's finished playing or when it loops and all that, but they didn't actually finish all that stuff. So this is called set flipbook. So set flipbook needs to go all the way down to, looks like here. And then we need to grab this create child physics components method and copy it all over there. So this goes right below set flipbook. Alright, and then we have set playback position, and basically, yeah, we changed all of this crap. So this is set playback position. And then we've got fire events and all these other things that we actually added, and that goes all in here as well. The best. And let's see, get socket transform. Yeah, we should take the contents of this thing as well. Alright, so paper flipbook components done. Scene proxy looks fine. Geometry tools, I don't think I changed anything here. Paper physics components, scene proxy, and scene proxy. Yeah, these scene proxies, things that we added. Copy right to left. Alright, so we'll copy those in there. We're probably going to have some issues. Basically, I added a physics proxy so that I could actually render the physics of Paper 2D in the game. Because seeing where your frickin' things are for all your collisions is pretty damn important. This is a U-paper sprite. Object type equals collision world dynamic. Yeah, so we set some defaults in here that a little bit more reasonable for us. Rebuild collision data. Let's see. Yeah, so we need to just like grab this entire thing, don't we? So let's rebuild the collision data. Alright. And I do have some of these things that are marked up like Paper 2D extension diffs and all that, and that's just kind of helped me remember, but really you just got to go through all this crap. That's just end of story. There's not much you can do about it with merging stuff at times. It's like doing your homework in school. It sucks. Yeah, okay, so I was like, why is this one different? It's like, well, because it's returning a reference now. Alright. So what do we got? Invalidate physics data. They moved this inside of it. Interesting. Alright. So what's different about this line? It's just F quad versus F rotator? Is that the only difference? So I don't see anything crazy going on there. Let's see, paper spray component. See, get used materials. I think they just changed it so we have this debug material thing everywhere. Scene proxy, and then just some new lines. Tile layer, no. Tile maps. Just more basic physics stuff. Looked like they changed. Alright. So we're starting to think we got most of the big merging out of the way for Paper 2D. I did a lot of little things, like the Micus flag headed off. And the, yeah, thanks, Micus. Yeah, the merge will be there, and then we'll be able to compile the whole engine and wait, an hour for everything. But it's just, you gotta pay the devil his due some days. It's just it's what you do. Whenever you touch the engine and you're taking the source drops, and you want to get that new engine later, it's just another bit of blood you have to spill. But the fun part. Now Paper 2D includes Slate. Great, this is amazing. Let me get all the crashes. Okay, so that was the Paper 2D plugin. So now let's look at Paper 2D editor stuff real quick. I don't think I changed the Paper 2D editor stuff, but there's a chance. So we'll just run through it real quick. Looks like they just have a whole bunch of, because they have a whole bunch of header change crap that affected everything. So we have to go through like every file. And I'm glad we're not using like a shared Perforce instance or something, because I've got like 30,000 files checked out right now for this thing. For the merge, I pretty much just checked out the entire repository for our code base. Alright, well, we're just going to go through it one at a time. That's just what we have to do. I don't like it, but that's okay. This would be like, you should do a charity stream. People do like Desert Bus, but it should be like merging other people's Perforce repositories. Because people like to see other people suffer, right? That's kind of one of the things. It's just like, instead of like playing Desert Bus or something, you have to fix somebody else's project's like merge conflicts and then successfully compile the project. So it looks like they got new stuff for the flipbook editors. Get total frame count plus 1. You couldn't have just added 1 to it? You needed to write a whole method for that. Really? That's amazing. I don't think we changed too much here. Flipbook timeline. Yes, it looks like they just added a whole bunch of small editor changes to make things easier, but they didn't change any of the actual guts. One of the cool things with this upgrade to the latest engine is going to be the volumetric fog stuff, which we're going to want to use for our backgrounds. It's probably something that everybody and their dog is going to be using. Mesh paint sprite. Interesting. So we have like things. Yeah, and when you see one of these guys going on here, it's probably that I added an export. So yeah, we actually did need to run through each one of these, because way down inside of socket editing, I had declared an export for one of the functions so that I could grab the sockets off of something. Because we basically wrote our own little importer plugin for the editor, which places sockets and places geometry and does detailed frame-by-frame collision. And then here's the events. Alright, gotta love events. What is this line? Like, you got prevent diced restriction, and is this something we actually need to worry about? I don't think so. We're not using it anywhere. So I think we'll save that. Sprite editor, nothing. Alright, just going through. Editor settings, we didn't change those. More settings. Do we change the editor viewport? Doesn't look like it. Why do people have to change things in? Terrain spline editing. I don't think we changed you. Tile map editing. I am pretty much entirely confident I did not change you. So we're not using any tile maps in our game. So I'm just gonna skip some of that. This is more tile editing. Yeah, tile set. We didn't change you. Alright, flipbook asset. Type actions. No, no. Looking alright. Editor commands. No, we did not change you. Asset factory. Nope. Just making sure, because we did modify the flipbook, so anything that's like flipbook component I need to take a double take on. Because I'm gonna get complacent real quick with these fucking merges, and then gonna make horrible mistakes. Our world is rotated. We'd like to recognize that fact. Thumbnails, nope. Let's see. Begin slate function build optimization. Oh, good lord. Here comes the slate. We don't use Slate in our project for our UI, we use WebKit. So we can display web pages instead of dealing with all the rest of that crap. It's pretty nice, because we can actually have embedded web pages in our project if we need them. Which means cool things like, you know, if we wanted to throw a YouTube video in there, we could. Alright, so that's private. Now we're going to look at public. Looks fine. Public helper. JSON helper. Read only versus target info rules. Alright, so it's target, read only target info rules for these things now. Smart snapping. Oh no. Anything with smart in it, I immediately think it's probably not as smart as it thinks it is. This is all just more core minimal includes, stuff like that. And we're not using Sprider, so we're probably not going to have to worry too much about that. Okay, so Paper 2D is merged in, so we should go up a level, up, and go to Source and Editor, Unreal Ed, Private, Factories, Actor Factory. So we need another different merge. It's going to be Private, Actor Factories. So let's see, Actor Factory files are identical. Between our diffs and our stuff. Well, let's check what the Unreal 16 preview has for its Actor Factory. So they did a whole bunch of stuff, didn't they? Now, if I remember properly, my changes here were that I was rotating things based on blueprint class name or something. Yeah, it's basically this post-spawn actor stuff. Because I just hacked it in there. So really what we want to do is we want to take their actor factory in its entirety, but we want to preserve our post-spawn actor function. So we need engine, source, what is this? Unreal Ed private, source editor, Unreal Ed private. Then we need the factories. Actor factory needs to be opened. Alright, so we got that, and we want to look for post spawn actor. Ah, this find function sucks. Yeah, so we need to go here. Alright, so actor factory has been fixed. So we need to go to runtime, core, private, Windows application. And this is the boring part of game development when you gotta do stuff. You gotta mess with stuff that you don't want to do. Whoa, what is all this? So did they add a whole bunch of... They added a whole bunch of shit, didn't they? So I had only changed Windows application. So we're probably going to need to check this out. So yeah, text files are identical for everything except for Windows application. I think my difference was that we added a few things to get the size of the... We added stuff to get the size of the window, the monitor that we're in terms of actual, like, yeah, the native X and Y for the locations of the actual things. So what we want to do is we basically want to take these two functions from our right, which is monitor info callback and monitor info stuff, and our get display metrics. Yeah, so we need all three of these guys, it looks like. So get display metrics all the way through here. Was there anything up top that we needed? Got setup API, shell object, only 2, allow Windows platform types. I don't see anything crazy going on there that we included. So what we're going to do is copy paste this stuff over to the left. And then we want to look for the get monitor info method. Get monitors info. So we changed it to get monitor info. Alright, so this is going to go all the way from get display metrics. This is going down through get display metrics is the bottom method. Alright. Let me change the core generic platform generic application.h. That's what it looks like. Core should be core public. Alright, so generic application. So they changed a bunch of headers and we added stuff to platform rect. Or we removed stuff from platform rect. They added stuff and we added stuff to the monitor info. Wait, did they actually add what I needed here? So let's take a look at the Windows application CPP. And let's look for this display rect. So we are grabbing the native X and Y off of these, and we're also grabbing the device name off of it. And what are they doing now? Yeah, okay, so they actually did implement, it looks like, what we wanted earlier. Like, they did implement, supposedly, this work area and display rect. Like you can see the monitor info, proc callback stuff. So they did implement what we need on our monitors in order to actually do stuff, but they don't have the device name. So what we might want to do is just take their stuff I kind of don't want to though, just because to hell with it. I could always take both. Well, let's take another look at what we have in ours. Okay, so they set the name here to be the device name. This is what it looks like. So theoretically, the monitor, the display rect right and top are going to be our X and Y. That's what it looks like. So I need to keep a little bit, some notes on this. Something like, okay, we don't need to take the changes that we made to all this crazy stuff. This next question is, what was with the S monitor info stuff? We were just we were passing around a few things that we needed. But I think what we can do is we can basically just take theirs then. This is core, public, generic, platform, and then it's like generic application.h. So we can totally just take their implementation, then we'll fix our stuff to use it properly. Cool. I'm glad they actually fixed that, because that was a giant pain in the ass. I was like, come on, why in the hell can I not get where the window is in like space? And that's useful because if you're like trying to switch monitors, you're trying to switch from like your left monitor to your right monitor, you need to know where in all your monitor space for your operating system your window actually exists. So we need to go back to generic, not application, but we need to grab the private. Maybe if we just do core private, it'll show up nicely for us. Yeah, so it's just Windows application, and what we can do is we can just take everything on that left side, on that right side, and put it in the right, and we'll be good. Okay, the Windows stuff is something that we no longer have to deviate from the core engine with. Excellent. Well, let us so we're inside of core. Public and private have been solved. So we're now on engine. So let's just see if we can get a top level diff of this folder.